Okay, so here we go with another Masters of the Universe Masterverse unboxing. And this is King Randor from the new Eternia subline. So I really dig these new Eternia figures. I think they're really cool. I like that, oftentimes, and this one is no exception, that we get like a classic version of the character along with a more updated version of the character, like different pieces that we can swap around and get him to be more like the classic design or more like a newer design. And even then, a lot of those newer designs are based on earlier designs that didn't quite make it to the public. Here's some uh, photos on the back of King Randor in the various looks with the helmet, with the crown, all that kind of stuff. He's got a spear. He's got a sword. It looks like the sword attaches to the spear. It's more of a scepter, I guess, when it doesn't have the sword attached to it. And then across all artwork down here, we got Beastman, we got Roboto, and we got King Randor. And over here, there he is, looking very much as he looked on the Filmation cartoon. Here's a new look for him. Oh, he's completely bald. And Bobby Wald says, "Oh, cool! You got the Burger King mascot figure. Yeah, yeah, we're all gonna make the Burger King jokes, aren't we?" Here's something I thought was really cool. There's actually a picture of Marlena on the back when she was an astronaut, and hopefully that's a tease of an action figure we've got coming out soon. And it's got a little bio on the back, so let's go ahead and read it real quick. And it says, King Randor, heroic ruler of Eternia, King Randor leads his royal forces across New Eternia, searching for the lost power of Grayskull and spreading good across the planet, earning him the nickname the King Abroad. So, New Eternia is just kind of a catch-all, I think. I don't think there's any one specific continuity that they've got going on behind this. So, it's almost like I think like the Elseworlds banner that DC Comics used to have. So there's like a bunch of parallel universes within the multiverse or the Masterverse, if you prefer. So let's go ahead and there's pieces of tape here on the sides too. We'll go ahead and get those cut. And then we can take King Randor out of the package and get to looking at him. So it says open there. And go ahead and do that. And it's got a bag of accessories up in here. There's that. We'll set that aside for now. And get on to opening up this figure. And he has a soft goods cape, which unfortunately is taped into the package. And I hate that because I know that's going to leave residue on the cape. I'm going to have all these awesome, beautiful Masterverse figures that are all going to have these ugly, grayish rectangles staining their capes. I wish Mattel would stop doing that. And it's especially pointless because, like, when it's in the package, you just have this small window to look at the figure, so I don't think it matters if his cape gets shifted around. You can't even see the cape in there anyway. So why do they do that? Baffles me. All right, so here is his sword, and it looks very much like the sword that came with the Masters Universe Classics version. The cross isn't quite as exaggerated. Actually, the whole thing isn't quite as exaggerated. It's not quite as thick as that Classics sword, which I thought was really cool. So this one's pretty cool too. It's just like a little more on the realistic side, I guess. So I went to cut this rubber tab, but apparently it just didn't go into the blister at all. So then I got the one on the other wrist, and then he's got these other rubber tabs at each of his ankles. And that one I thought I had, but it kind of slipped off. Come on, you. There we go. And there's one here that's just in a very annoying spot. Come on. Is there one around his torso? Doesn't seem to be one around his torso. I'm just gonna get it from the back. Fine. I guess I must have got it enough to cut it, but not enough to separate it, but I got it split off now. So let's go ahead and pull him out. And his helmet's coming off, so I'm just going to pull the helmet off before I pull the whole figure out of here. And there we go. Got King Randor out of the package, and we can see he's got a bald head and a full beard. And my, he is a handsome-looking fellow, isn't he? I mean, he's a good-looking guy. I don't know, like he reminds me of somebody really handsome that I've seen before somewhere, but I can't quite place it. He's just a good-looking dude. He's got some gray in his beard, not enough that his beard is fully gray, but it's enough that it's distinguished, and he probably gets a lot of compliments from a lot of ladies. He's pretty cool. He's a good-looking dude. So, yeah, this is a great action figure, and I think he's awesome, and you should agree with me. All right, so let's go ahead and set him aside real quick, and we'll have a look at the rest of these accessories. Bobby Wald says, the last Masterverse figure I got was Trapjaw, so I can recreate Suey's Tea Party, taking a picture with my daughter with Optimus Prime, Destro, Trapjaw, and which Care Bear was it? I'm curious to find out now. So, yeah. So here's the accessories he's got in the bag, but I'm sure your daughter appreciated that too. I'm sure she really enjoyed it. So here is his wig with the crown attached to it, so you can give him the more classic look versus the helmet. Oh, by the way, here's a look at the helmet, since I don't think I showed that off before. And then we have this scepter, which does have a hole in the end, so you can take this peg on the end of the sword and plug it in there. So then he's got a spear. Remember how I was talking about how, like, I kind of wished that the Origins King Randor had a sword, but the spear was, more accurate, since that was what the original. Well, this one the sword actually becomes a spear, so you can have it either way, or you could have him holding the spear in one hand and a sword in the other. He doesn't look like he has any extra hands. He's just got the two gripping hands. So I guess maybe they're starting to get away from the extra hands in the Masterverse line. Oh, Bobby, which trap jaw was it? Because I know they did two different trap jaws in Masterverse. They did the new Eternia one and the Revelation one. So I'm kind of curious as to which one it was. Personally, I think the new Eternia version is the better of the two. But yeah, I'd kind of like to know that. I'm interested in knowing that. So the cape does come off. It's got two little pegs on each one of these clasps that attaches into the armor, and I believe that this armor on the arm, his arm armor, should be removable. So let's go ahead and pull off the hand, and we'll pull off this bracer, and then I should be able to slide all of that off. So there we go. If you want to take the armor off of the arm, we'll go ahead and put the bracer and the hand back on, and then we can take the hairpiece and the crown and stick that on there. And we might as well put the cape back on there too. We'll put the cape on without the wig. I think that will be easier. And it snaps. It snaps in there, so that's good. So it's gonna stay on there nice and firmly. And then we'll go ahead and put the hair on there, and then we'll put the sword into the spear, into the scepter for the spear configuration. And there we go. That's not a bad recreation of what King Randor looked like in the original action figure. His boots are the wrong color because he has brown boots instead of blue boots with the white trim as the original figure had. But other than that, it's a pretty good recreation, I think, of that original character. But if we want to go full on new Eternia with him, we can go ahead and put that armor back onto his arm. And that just slides right back on there. And it's hinged. It's got a hinge on there, so it's gonna move along with his elbow, although it does kind of somewhat hinder the articulation a little bit, I think, but that's to be expected. Put the bracer back on there. And this strap on the forearm is tight enough that you do need to remove the bracer if you want to take that off. Take the crown and the hair back off, and we can put the helmet on there. And there's something kind of like Vlad Tepish about this helmet that I really like. Head over Diecast is here. He says, "Hey, hey, hey," and asks, "What did I miss?" You didn't miss a whole lot. I took him out of the box. I've been talking a little bit about that. I think you've seen most of me talking about the figure. So, and if you want to see what you missed, you can always go back and watch the replay. So it's cool. It's cool. So he does have these armor pieces on the shins also, and those are pretty nice. And I suppose you could remove those if you really wanted to, like take the feet off, heat up the feet with like a hair dryer or something, or some warm water, and then the feet should remove pretty simply. And then you could probably slide these off, but I'm not going to bother to do that right now. Oh wait, I don't even have to do that because they've got little tabs on there. So you can take them off that way too. But honestly, that seems like that'd be even more of a pain in the ass because these do seem kind of a somewhat rigid plastic to expect somebody to do that with. And also, instead of the furry trunks like the original version had, like the more traditional furry trunks that a Masters Universe comes with, he's got this more like the kind of leather strap kind of skirt like Skeletor has, or should I say like Keldor has, since we now know that King Randor and Skeletor in his human form as Keldor were actually brothers. But yeah, there he is with the spear again. Or we can put the sword in his hand, just straight up as a sword. So he's kind of like Master Splinter in that regard, the Splinter Skull figure, in that he has a sword that can be merged with a staff to become a spear, or he can just have a spear and a staff, or a scepter, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's more of a scepter. It's a little short to be a staff, but you get what I'm saying. And it's pretty cool that way, I think. So I don't know if I really have necessarily a preference. I do like that the old school look, of course, and I do like this new look. I think that is a pretty cool design. And I like that you can have him without either the helmet or the hairpiece, and just have a bald King Randor, where like that's a really flattering look for him. I think that he's a really handsome guy. So I'm secure enough in my sexuality to say that I think that this is a handsome looking dude who reminds me of somebody. I can't quite put my finger on who he reminds me of. I can't quite place that. I'm not trying to say that somebody from Mattel. Oh, you think he looks like me? Oh, well, that's really flattering. Yeah, like yeah. I'm not saying I think that somebody from Mattel is watching my videos and decided to base the action figure of He-Man's dad on yours truly. But I am saying that if someone from Mattel was watching my videos and decided to base the action figure of He-Man's dad on yours truly, this is exactly what that action figure would wind up looking like. I'm just saying, it's just a theory that happens to fit the facts. That's all it is. Like, I'm not trying to say anything like happened. I'm just saying if it did happen, it would happen exactly this way. So make of that what you will. But I'm really happy with how he turned out. He's really cool. Let's get a look at him next to He-Man. So, like father, like son. And like brother that wound up becoming an evil lich demon creature. So yeah. So going back a little bit, Bobby Wald said what we really need is a Prince Adam with his water paint set. I was thinking when I got this that I would really like to see them do like a new Eternia version of Prince Adam, and I think that would be really cool. I know that they did a Masterverse Prince Adam that was based on the Revolution version, but honestly, the distribution on these is really spotty, and there's some waves that there's just like way too many of these figures out there, and there's some where like you can barely even ever find them. But but that was one of the ones where like I never ever saw that at retail. But I do know that they made that Prince Adam. But I would probably prefer to have a Prince Adam with a little more bulk to him, a little closer to like the original Filmation cartoon or the original action figure. Just take like the not the bigger bulkier one, but the kind of more standard uh Masterverse He-Man, and repaint him in the Prince Adam colors and give him like a soft goods vest. I think that would be the best thing to do. Bobby Wald says, which one, kind of like the old cartoon where he's still above, or the newer ones uh where he's a scrawny little guy? Well, that was Revelation. So yeah, he was a scrawny little guy in that one. But yeah, I'd want to see the more buffed version, because I'm old fashioned like that. So if push comes to shove, I'll probably just buy another He-Man and repaint him, because especially since I've got this King Randor, and if, like, I'm hoping they do the Queen Marlena figure, man, she looks cool. I'm really digging that look. I want her in that astronaut outfit. And if they do the kind of thing like they often do with new Eternia, and give her extra pieces, like they could give her, like, like a soft goods dress to put over her astronaut outfit. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, I'd make the Masterverse version. I'd make him the more buff Prince Adam, because even though, like I said, that Revolution figure is hard to find, at least that's still ground they've already covered. So, you know, anyway, but or 2000X one might be cool too. They could do both. I don't see any reason why they couldn't do both. Maybe they could take a page from the Filmation figures and actually do him in a 2-pack with Cringer, and that might be a really cool thing to see. Though honestly, I kind of feel like the Filmation Cringer is a little oversized, and that he'd probably fit in better with the Masterverse figures than he does with the Origins sized figures. Bobby Wald says, I would like to see Granomir in Masterverse, and I'm a huge fan of Granomir. He's one of my favorite characters in Masters of the Universe. I'd say he's probably my favorite character that did not get a figure in the original line. I would have really loved to have seen that when I was a kid, and I did not. Unfortunately, I was never able to get the classics version of Granomir, and that is an expensive figure nowadays. I don't think I'm ever going to own one unless I win the lottery or something. But but I do love Granomir, and yeah, if even if they did it as like a Mattel Creations website exclusive or something like that, I would love to see Granomir. I think that would be fantastic. You know, and plus he'd be a figure that I think would be so large that you could probably still use a Masterverse size Granomir with your Origins figures, and it wouldn't look too out of place, because he's such a big character anyway. I think that would work out really well. So let's go ahead and talk about his articulation, because I don't think I've done that yet. So I'm going to take the helmet off, because I think that'll give us the best idea as to how Randor's head articulation works. So King Randor can look up that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate his head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders. Now, he does have this big, bulky armor on his arm, but that doesn't seem to prevent the arms from rotating around at the shoulder too much. It is kind of causing a little bit, I think, just a very little bit of resistance here when you try to move his arm up that way, but not too much. You can see it raises up almost as far. And then, of course, he has a bicep swivel that rotates all the way around. But again, the armor is going to kind of bump into that a little bit. He's got double jointed elbows, and that's about the range of motion you're going to get at the elbows. They are a little, muscle bound, these Masters Universe figures. That's to be expected. And of course, like I said, it's got this hinge on the armor, which is going to allow you some elbow movement, but it's going to kind of hinder that slightly too. He does have the kind of I always do that, the Masterverse kind of joint underneath here, but it's got this breastplate on there, so that's going to kind of hinder that a little bit. And then of course he rotates all the way around at the waist, King Randor can kick up about that far, even though he's got this soft rubber skirt piece. It doesn't really seem to hinder that too much. It is very soft plastic, very soft plastic. It moves really easily. Thigh cut, so the thigh rotates all the way around. He's got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. He does have a boot cut, so the boot comes off extremely easily. I was gonna say the boot rotates all the way around, but it's just wanting to fall off, man. Now, I know that in the 2000X cartoon, King Randor, his leg was severely wounded at some point, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a brace or if he literally has like a prosthetic leg in 2000X. I'm not sure which one that's supposed to be. But in this case, dude actually lost a leg. So I'm going to say that the Masterverse version, I'm going to say that he literally has a prosthetic leg. He lost his leg in battle, folks, and he gave his leg for Eternia, and then it came off. So yeah, and then those rotate all the way around. And like I said before, these are brown boots when really he should have blue boots. I'm nitpicking. They don't look bad. They look fine, but they should be blue boots. I'm just pointing that out. So great looking figure, really cool accessories, and I love having all these display options. And it's really cool that no matter how you want to display your King Randor, you could go with the old school look, or you can go with not one but two different looks. Even if you're not comfortable with the idea of Randor being bald now, when he's got the helmet, you can't even really tell that he's bald. He could still have that long hair underneath. And that's pretty cool. I like that. So great figure. I think that they captured like the kingly aspects of the character and made him look like a badass warrior. And he still looks like a certain fast food chain mascot. So people who love that aspect of the character will not be disappointed either. He's still in the red and gold outfit with his crown and his beard, and he looks like the Burger King, you know. So we're just gonna roll with it, man. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for King Randor. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe, so I'm going to keep saying like and subscribe. I've noticed that I've gotten a few more subscribers in the past week than I usually do. And, some of them have even been nice enough to join me in the chat. And it's always nice to see friends of the channel pop up in the chat. So thank you very much for that. So yeah, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about King Randor, not just this figure, but other figures, the character itself. Let me know what you think about the character in general. So we got more Masterverse figures to open because I've still got Ninjor, and then I've got some Origins stuff to open. So I've got Grizzlor, and I've got the 4-pack. Oh, and I totally forgot. I also have uh, Hurricane Hordak that I got a while back. So no, I don't have Roboto yet, and I need to get Roboto because I missed out on the Revelation. It was Revelation. I missed out on the Revelation Roboto, and I thought that was really cool. And Roboto is one that I wasn't able to get in Classics, so I do need to fill that spot in my collection, especially. So I'm definitely going to try to get the new Eternia Roboto because he's really cool. He looks really cool to me anyway. Oh, and while I was out today, I got another G.I. Joe figure because I got Darklon. I found him at Target. So that was acquired today. So I'll have Darklon to open up. I think I'm going to, if I'd have known that I was going to have Darklon, I think I would have saved Dr. Mindbender and opened those two back to back. But as it is, I'm going to open him after I'm done with this latest batch of Masters of the Universe. And then we'll have the He-Man stuff sandwiched in between G.I. Joe, and I think that works thematically. Bobby Wald says, I have the Revelation one, but I'm not too enthusiastic about the master. I'm not too enthusiastic. The Masterverse version really looks awesome, and I want to get that one. Well, at the end of the day, I might be glad that I missed out on that Revelation one then. But yeah, I definitely want to pick up the. I kind of feel like the new Eternia one is my second chance with that. And he says, Bobby Wald says, I'm still waiting on my Dark One. Well, hopefully it'll show up soon. So I saw this one and a few of the other GI Joes that were in the assortment. I think it was Blowtorch and the Frag Viper. But I only got so much money right now, so I went ahead and picked up Darklon because I figured he was probably the one I wanted most out of those three. But yeah, next episode I will be back with Ninjor, so we'll go ahead and open that one up, and then I figure I'll open up Grizzlor, and then the last of my latest He-Man stuff will be this giant 4-pack, the Battle for Eternia, where we have the Paragon Champion, the Skell Knight, the Horde Revenant, and the Pit Warden. So we'll open up all four of those. That'll be on 2 episodes hence, and the next episode. Oh no, yeah, 3 episodes hence because we're gonna do Ninjor, and then the Filmation Grizzlor, and then finally this one. So that's going to round out our He-Man figures out of this latest round. And I hope you all enjoyed them. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I said it one more time. We'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.